Folks, I'm here with a very special guest. I consider this guy a friend now, a brother, even though I never met him in person. But I've had the pleasure of working with him for the past few months. We finished working together right before the new year, before 2021 ended, going into 2022. And before we get into this episode today, I want to make sure I give a quick shout out to Athlete Soul and Miriam Glass. For those of you who don't know, Athlete Soul is a nonprofit that helps athletes transition into the next stages of their lives. Myself, ThriveAfterSports, has partnered with Athlete Soul to be able to help athletes, give them the resources they need that we were lacking through our transition. And so I want to thank Athlete Soul for allowing me to work with Mederick. And I want to encourage anyone to reach out. If you know an athlete, if you are an athlete who needs support, we still do have scholarships available, thanks to Miriam's fundraising skills. So don't hesitate to reach out. But let's get into it. I want to talk to the man of the hour here. I'm here with Mederick Flavius. He's a former lineman, a big dog at St. Francis University. And Mederick, thank you for spending some time, man. Great to have you here today.
Of course, man. I appreciate you having me.
My God. Can you just tell people a little bit about, I already mentioned you played O-line at St. Francis, but I don't even know if I asked you this, man, maybe during our first conversation, but as your football career was coming to an end, did you have aspirations of playing in the NFL?
Yeah, I did. I did. I always thought I was going to be in the NFL, but it like kind of I had to pivot a little bit just because of injuries. I tore my meniscus twice, and I tore my meniscus like during the bye week of my senior year. So that kind of like really, I was really put into perspective right there. I had to put life into perspective on like really what I was going to do. So yeah, that was like, that's how that one ended.
Man, a lot of athletes, a lot of people right now can probably relate to what you just said about the injury, kind of almost like your career ended prematurely. I mean, everything happens for a reason, of course, but I'm sure at the time it felt like, man, my career is ending prematurely. I'm not even having a chance to really finish out the career the right way. What was it like during that time when you were injured? Were you kind of like starting to think about life after football, or what was the thought process during that time?
Honestly, at that time, like, with sports, especially football, I was so submerged into football and so submerged into my identity with football. I was still like on the way, okay, like it's just a meniscus tear. I'll heal up, get better, be able to play the last 2 games of the season, still be able to, put some things on films, try to impress scouts, go to all-star games and stuff like that. So I was still in the headspace that, okay, sports is still going to be my life, after that, working with me, you already know the type of mindset that I have. Like, I'm dedicated with everything I did do. So like at that time, I was still, okay, yeah, I'm just going to get healthy enough so I could play the last 2 seasons, play the last 2 games. And after this game, probably see, depending on what the doctors say, if I need surgery or not, so forth and so on, take it from there. But during that time frame, like I really wasn't even thinking about, after college, after life, after sports, because I was still in it. So, and that's how I felt.
Right. Yeah, man. So you didn't end up coming back that season, right?
Like I tore meniscus the bye week. What happened, like the doctor, I was out for the next week. The doctor gave me a brace to play in for the remaining 4 games of the season. I came back that third game, and the second drive, the second play, we ran inside zone left. That's my side. And I know it. So, a teammate pancaked the guy into my ankle, and I ended up getting a ankle sprain. I was out for 2 more weeks. And then, like, at that, it was just like this thing just started trickling down. And then, after that, it was just like, all right, yeah, I knew it was a wrap from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Did you have a spring semester after that, or did you finish up the season and
No,
then
I
graduate?
finished up in December, so I was out of there. So
Okay.
like,
And then
yeah,
what happens next, man? Like you graduate and then you didn't move
after
back
that,
home, right? Because you're from
no,
Florida.
after I was done with school in Pennsylvania, I went back home, and like at that point, I was just like, yeah, it's time to get me some money, and I started working at Hertz. That's my first position, and I was an assistant manager there for about a year and some change, and like uh, I had 2 promotions. I started off as a manager trainee, got 2 promotions to assistant manager, and like that still wasn't cutting. Even living at my home with like living with my parents and like no bills and stuff like that. $14 an hour can only really take you so far, and like the things that I really wanted to do in life. So after that, I just started pursuing other fields because like I graduated my degree in marketing and management. So like I got real good broad business knowledge. So I just tried to, place myself in different positions, like, in the financial sector. That's where like a lot of money's been made at. So went over to work with Crefco Home Loans, started doing like loan assistant, stuff like that. And like, yeah, like that still wasn't cutting it for me. So, and like, I just found myself at a point in time, just like, like, what am I really doing? Well, I really didn't know like what I really wanted out of life, honestly. I really just wanted to, I really was just living life. Like I didn't know what I was wanted to do. And like being from South Florida, it's easy to get caught up in a lifestyle, just wanted to be out every weekend and so forth and so on. So like, I was really like in a space where I didn't know what I wanted to do besides from save money. So
Man, I want to go back to something you said a minute ago about like once you left Pennsylvania and went back home, you were only in the thought process of like, I just need to get some money. And
yeah,
I have to laugh, man, because I think I shared this with you the first time. Like that was my mindset too. And that's what so many athletes think too. Like my career's done. I just need to get some money. And a lot, not that, of course, we all, we need to eat, we need to pay bills. But the thing about that mentality, and I want people to learn from everybody who listens to the podcast has heard my story, but really here in Mederick's story, like, yes, do what you need to do to pay the bills, but you have to think about where you're going. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself, yeah, you're making money, but you're unfulfilled. And eventually that leads to burnout, which leads to you ultimately feeling trapped in your own life. And not to
absolutely.
sound dramatic when I say that, but I know you feel me on that. Like that's what we're talking about. And that's why having that clarity is so important. So you don't feel trapped. So you have hope about where you're going, you know?
Yo, no, like you hit it right on the nail. Cause like, even like comparing my life now to where it was like 2018 when I was coming out, even though right now in this current moment, I'm working, I would say, I don't consider it work no more just because I want to do it. But like, outside looking in, I'm working more now than I was 2 years ago, but I'm working for something different. I'm not just working trying to get me some money. I'm actually like now I'm in a space where I'm pursuing what makes me happy. I'm pursuing what I want to do with like, my whole heart in it, knowing that, yeah, this is what I love, even though it's not football. I still love this and this is what I want to do. And it's like I work 9 to 5 from home, doing a remote job. I come off work immediately. I'm grinding. I'm grinding till about 7 o'clock. Got my daughter in my hand, still grinding. And yeah, till it's bedtime. So and I love it. Like my girl, she mad at me because I'm just working right now. I'm just like, hey, if I want to where I want to be, where I want to be in life right now, I got to do it. So
Right. It's funny, man. My fiance does the same thing, man. I'll be working from sun up to sundown. And it's funny because in the back of her mind, I know she appreciates it. Just like, you know what I mean? That they give you a hard time for it, but like, oh, my man's grinding, he's putting work in. They love to see it, man. You
you
know?
know how it is.
Yes, sir. We're building for their future too when it's all said and done. So
Facts.
it's a beautiful thing, man. Let's talk about that a little bit because you beat me to the punch, man. I definitely wanted to ask you about this. You just said something that's so key. You get off of work and then you go into work mode after you get home from work. What are you working on when you get home from the day job?
So right now I'm just in the space where I'm a fitness trainer now. I'm still working on 2 of my certifications to become a nutritionist and a health coach. And I'm in the process of doing my health coaching certification right now, with ISSA, International Sports Association, and like that's where I'm leaning more towards to. Like I love the fitness trainer and being like helping people, being a personal trainer, but I feel like the health coach is more. I'm more leaning towards that because that's just more of the. I think when I was coming out, even like, even being a Division I athlete and, having strength and conditioning coaches and stuff like that, there's still basic knowledge that I didn't comprehend. So now I'm learning the knowledge to it. And I'm just like, yo, a lot of people could really use this, especially like, older, older people, younger people, whatever, in terms of just being like just the fundamentals and basics of being healthy and having a healthy life. And like, I see myself doing more of that now. And also at the same time, I'm also building an app, which yeah, I'm out here making workout programs, as well as like I just started my nutritional fact sheet, and at the same time, I want to write a book on nutrition as well. with like how I struggle with it, you know, in my youth, primarily being that I'm from a Caribbean descent. So a lot of the foods that we eat is normally is not all that healthy for us. I wouldn't say all that healthy for us, but like, you know, in terms of like, you know, a healthy lifestyle, the idealistic lifestyle that I want to have for the rest of my life, in terms of I can live long and, you know, still be mobile when I'm older and stuff like that. Like, this is the type of knowledge that I need, and that's the type of thing I want to pursue and help others with.
Man, you just blew my mind right now. I didn't know you were working on a book too, man. It's
Yeah,
been a few
listen,
weeks since we touched base, man. Wait a
listen,
minute.
man. I'm telling you, man. Listen, now, like, I'm really like these days I sleep with my notebook right next to me, because I be having dreams and I just wake up, I'm like, let me write this down real quick. Let me like now I go to sleep thinking about my future, but it's saying not in terms where like I'm anxious about it, but I'm just like, yeah, this is what it's gonna be. You know, this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna make it that way. If it's tomorrow, so be it. If next 5 years, so be it. But it's gonna happen. So that's the type of headspace I'm in right now, honestly.
Man, Mederick, I love to hear that, man. That excites me because like that's my ultimate goal for anybody that I come across is exactly what you just described. And people who listen to the show, man, they're gonna be mad at me because I have this little saying that I always throw out there, which is keeping your antennas up, meaning like, okay, you got a good job. You're in a much better position. You're making more money. You're able to work remotely and spend time with the family, but you're not settling there. Your antennas are up, meaning you're looking for what is the next opportunity. And you're actually not just thinking about it, but you're putting forth the effort to get there. And like I told you time and time again, man, that's what's going to make you successful. So congratulations on that, man. And we definitely have to talk about the book, man, because you know I'm vice
Yeah, for
president of a
sure.
publishing company, man.
Yeah,
We'll
for
talk
sure,
later.
for sure. Yeah.
We'll talk later. I'll get you locked in. But let's go back to this for a second, man, because I remember um, I think I reached out to you because we're connected through Marcus Alston. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Marcus if he's listening to this. And I touched base with you on LinkedIn. We had a quick conversation. And then from there, you decided that we were going to do some work together. And that's when we got connected with Athlete Soul. So I got to ask, man, well, let me start with this. If there's a former athlete out there who doesn't know that these services are available, or just to have that guidance or that support, would you recommend that a former athlete reach out to Athlete Soul or reach out to me to get some work through that transition period as they're trying to map out the next steps?
Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt. What the service really did for me was provide great clarification, and I would say amazing direction, in terms of like, once I got the clarification, the directional path that I needed to take to change basically my way of thinking was like incredible, honestly. I'm being so serious, Taj. Like, honestly, like, from the time I met you to now, my life has made a complete change, and it's you can see it from like just the way things has been falling in line. Honestly, like, I told you, like, even with the new job, how it's ideally for my situation and what I want to do in life, it's ideal. And then at the same time, like, now I know, like, now I'm looking back at my past thinking like, man, I thought I was gonna be in the NFL when this is what I was really supposed to be doing out here, you know? So
Yeah,
like,
man.
yeah.
That's great, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And, I appreciate your kind words. And I'm glad I was able to help. And at the same time, I got to give that right back to you because, like I told you time and time again, I can talk to you till I'm blue in the face and give you
Mm.
suggestions and give you, guidance or just certain areas to help you discover things for yourself. But all of that is completely useless without you actually taking action on it. So it's a two-way street, and everything you're doing right now is a testament to the work that you've been putting in, the work that you're putting in tonight. I know as soon as we get off this call, you're going to be putting in work, and it's a testament to the work that you're going to be doing in the future. So, congratulations on that, man. Fantastic.
For sure.
So for former athletes out there, man, this would be because I know you graduated 2018, but realistically, you're just now kind of what I call like getting to the other side of the transition, and it
Mm-hmm.
takes time. It's not an overnight thing, and you and I both know there are many transitions in life. But for those athletes who are either coming out of college or wrapping up their professional career, as someone who just made it to the other side, what advice can you give to that former athlete who's feeling lost right now and just trying to figure out what to do?
The advice that I really give it to them, I'll say is two advice. The first one is be honest with yourself. You know, I would say recognize the things you need to work on as a person, and be honest about where you're at. Be honest about the type of person you are, and that would assist a lot in making forward progress. And the second advice I would give them is, at the end of the day, it's on you. The work that you decide to put in, like, it's just like sports. You don't win a championship overnight. The championship is won in the off season. You're putting in work from the off season, summer workouts, camp, whatever it be, whatever your sport may be. You're putting in endless work, and that's how the game of life is. You don't win at life that easily. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to put in the work, and you got to want to win. So, like, I know, like, ultimately what I want is not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in 2 months. So I'm not even expecting that. I'm really just taking this day by day because I'm a spiritual man as well. So you don't know when your hourglass might run up, but at least if your hourglass run up and you're doing right and you're doing things that made you happy, I mean, I wouldn't be too mad.
That's right, man. Hey, solid advice right there, man. Hey, spoken like a very wise man, bro. That's one of the first things I told you. I can tell you got a good head on your shoulders, man. And what you just said right there, I'm glad people, I know whoever's tuning into this right now took something away from that. So appreciate you sharing that. But
For sure.
back to you, man. Like you talked about, you just got your certification. You did it before the end of the year, like we talked about. Like you knocked it out the park, and you got some good things you're working on in your, I would say free time, but it's not free time. You got things you're working on in your off time from work, the work after work, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But what's next, man? Like when you think about the future, and you already touched on it a little bit, but for those who are going to be following you on your journey, like
Mm-hmm.
when you think about, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, like what's next for Mederick Flavius, man?
Right now, like, basically, like you said before, I'm over in the next transition. So I'm taking this as my freshman year, and I'm really trying to put in a lot of work and just be able to lay out my how I want to say, like, I want to lay out my program, and like basically I just want to, like, get my program as solidified as I want it, which means basically, like, I'm just really in the process of getting my social media presence of, like, that I'm a fitness trainer and a health coach as well. And that, I'm here for you. I'm here for, whoever is, whoever I'm working with and so forth, and whoever needs help. And basically, like, that's where I'm at right now, my freshman year. As far as like 5 years in the future, I see myself being probably head of nutrition at in somebody's gym or at somebody's school or so forth. I haven't really, really looked that far, just because of what I got going on now. I want to, get my book in order, right? And then at the same time, just like just finish up work, making up of my programs and stuff like that for people and stuff. So, like, that's where I'm at with it right now. But, like, 5 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now, I'm gonna be somebody's fitness coach. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. Subscriptions to the app going up. You might mess around and see me on the app, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be in your database,
For sure.
I love it, man. And I love how you referred to it as your freshman year. Like, you graduated 2018, but you're in your freshman year of life. You know what I mean? And that's so exciting, man. And I really want people to take that away from what you shared, that if you look at your life that way, you're not behind when you finish your sport. You're not starting over. Like, nah, you're a freshman in life. But see, this is not 4 years. Like you said, you don't know when your day is going to come, but this is not freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. This is like, 50, 60, 70, 80 years of life ahead of all of us. So, and that's exciting when you put it into that perspective, man. So thank you for sharing that. Before we wrap up, man, social media handles, if people want to follow the journey, what you're doing with the fitness side of things, how can people follow your journey and get in touch with you and all that?
They can follow me on Instagram as Debo Florida. That's my identity. Now I'm about to be Debo Florida football player. I'm about to be Debo Florida the trainer.
Hey.
You can follow me on TikTok as well. I put out some workout content on that platform. Same thing, Debo, Florida, DEBO, the same as the state, Florida.
Awesome. Got to represent. And we'll have all that linked in the show notes so you guys can follow Mederick on his journey and just check out what he's up to, especially as the fitness side of thing starts to evolve. Make sure you go support, show him some love. And man, Mederick, I told you time and time again, man, but I respect the way you get after it, the way you don't just talk it, but you walk it. I'm inspired by your journey, man, and I'm excited to see where you're going in the future. That's what makes me excited is like, man, if he got this far in a few months, imagine a few years. That's what makes me excited, man. So keep doing your thing. Thank you again for coming on and spending some time on the podcast. And as always, man, we'll be in touch, brother.
Anytime, of course, man. You enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man. Be easy.